So here we are. Russell Wilson wanted to be a Steeler, one of the only big names left on the free agent market outside of Aaron Rodgers. Signs a deal for $20 million with the New York Giants. Steelers let Justin Fields walk to the New York Jets. Kenny Pickett gets traded to the Cleveland Browns. And now the Steelers are left with Mason Rudolph and sitting on their hands hoping that Aaron Rodgers is going to decide to come and play for Pittsburgh. So the question is, do the Steelers already have a deal done with Aaron Rodgers? Because it's been reported that the Steelers didn't even offer Russell Wilson a contract, so he wasn't going to sit around and wait for them anymore. So now he's in New York, on which is a pretty cheap deal for a quarterback like Russell Wilson, $20 million. He's getting paid as much as Justin Fields right now. And he's won a Super Bowl and's been to, 6 Pro Bowls. Only player in NFL history to rush for 5,000 yards and throw for 40,000 yards. So he's one of the greatest dual-threat quarterbacks of all time. And in my opinion, is probably going to be a Hall of Famer. So, there's rumors going around that the Steelers already have a deal done with Aaron Rodgers. He came into Pittsburgh, met with Pittsburgh for 6 days, left, and they said their deal wasn't done. What I heard on KDK Pittsburgh today was that they offered a deal to Rodgers 16 days ago. Still haven't heard anything back. So I don't know. To me, I feel the Steelers already have to have a deal done with Rodgers for Russell to go out there and take this deal with the Giants, because he's been sitting around waiting for Pittsburgh this whole time. He already met with New York like 2 weeks ago, said he came back from New York without a deal, came back from Cleveland without a deal. Now, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he signs with the New York Giants. So to me, I got to feel that Russell Wilson or the Steelers already have a deal done with Aaron Rodgers. If not, this is going to be a huge blunder, because obviously the Steelers are all in on Aaron Rodgers right now. They haven't made any big splash moves in free agency outside of trading for DK Metcalf, which was a trade. They signed ancient Darius Slay for $10 million, which, it was a position of need for sure, but he's pretty old, and $10 million is a lot of money. And they could have had Najee Harris back on an option for $8 million. Now he goes to the Chargers for $9 million. And in my opinion, he's going to have a career year this season. So the Steelers, they really aren't adding that much talent. If anything, they're losing talent. They're losing to Landon Roberts, one of their starting inside linebackers, losing Najee Harris, a 4-time 1,000-yard back, lost both of their quarterbacks who won them, 10 games last year, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. Had to cut Ojanobi for salary cap, lost Dan Moore, lost James Daniels, who was hurt all last year. And what did they pick up? Gainwell, and who else? Darius Slay in free agency. So right now, all the Steelers are doing, obviously, with $40 million in cap space, is they've been sitting on their hands, waiting, begging, on their knees, hoping Aaron Rodgers signs this deal. Or they already have a deal done, because radio columnist, I don't really put into anything he says, but a radio DJ shock jock out of Pittsburgh, 93.7 The Fan, Andrew Filipponi, came out and said that I guess because he's good friends with Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee has a sold-out show at PP Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, and that's where Aaron Rodgers is going to make his announcement on ESPN. And it's all a big circus show. To me, this deal has to be done. There's no way the Steelers can't bring in Aaron Rodgers. There's no way Mike Tomlin and Omar can come out there and roll forward with Mason Rudolph. Imagine if you go out there and roll forward with Mason Rudolph and you let Russell Wilson walk, you let Justin Fields walk, you pass Mason Rudolph over for Kenny Pickett, and then you pass Kenny Pickett over for Russell Wilson. And all these guys, we play the Jets this year. I don't know if we play the Giants or not. I don't think we play the Giants this year, but we play the Jets this year. We play Cleveland twice. Can you imagine if Cleveland has a better record than the Steelers, if the Jets have a better record than the Steelers, and the Giants have a better record than the Steelers, and they roll out a guy who's been nothing but a career backup his entire career who really hasn't done anything in the NFL. And this same front office and this same coaching staff has passed over on this guy multiple times already. The Steelers have to have a deal done right now with Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. There's no way they can't come back from this without Aaron Rodgers, because basically all the other free agents are gone right now. I mean, yeah, you can go out there and get Nick Chubb, but most of the big names are gone right now. And you've been sitting around waiting this entire offseason and this entire free agency for Aaron Rodgers to say, yes, I'm going to play. No, I'm not going to play. So to me, the Steelers are almost like the Dallas Cowboys at this point. They're more concerned about selling stories than they are about winning Super Bowls. And this is why a majority of the fan base is fed up. This is why one fan went to the extreme of going out and buying a billboard saying, hey, Rooney, fire Tomlin or sell the team. That's how fed up they are with this. Because if you roll Mason Rudolph out there as your starting quarterback position, I don't see how there's any way we're going to win the division. I don't see how there's any way the Steelers are even going to win a playoff game this year. At least Aaron Rodgers gives you a chance. It gives you some false hope to actually, at least win a playoff game and at least contend in this division. But with Mason Rudolph, there's no way. And you got to get a lot more talent around him. Let's just be completely honest about it. They got to be up to something. They can't see letting dumbass Rodgers make us sit in here wait all believe. That's what I'm saying. There has to be a deal done already. They're just working out the particulars right now because Steelers have $40 million in cap space. So like 25 to 30 of that is going to go to Rodgers, and the rest is going to fill out the rest of the roster. I see that there's no way that they don't have a deal done. They're just working out the particulars, especially now that Russell walked and left. They probably called up Russell and said, hey, Russ, we got a deal done. Sorry, we're not going to offer you any contract. And Russ took his second option, was the Giants. He was all in for Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's all in for Russ. So if they don't get this deal done, this is a total fumble of an offseason for the Steelers. Well, every Steeler fan didn't want Rodgers. Now, at this point, especially if they don't have a deal done, Rodgers has all the leverage in the world. He has all the leverage. He can say, well, that's your one and only offer. I'm going to retire. You feel comfortable with Mason Rudolph? I feel comfortable retiring and collecting this $50 million guaranteed check I got coming from the Jets. I don't have to play, or I could sit around and wait until a quarterback gets hurt, and then they're going to come calling, say, hey, Rodgers, what's up, buddy? Like, say a team like Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes happens to get hurt, or a team like Cincinnati and Joe Burrow happens to get hurt. Then, Aaron Rodgers might say, okay, I'm willing to play on a cheap for one of these teams, but I'm not willing to play on a cheap with the Steelers because I don't think they're really going anywhere. There's really no direction for the Steelers. They ain't got no running backs. Their offensive line's terrible, and their defense is getting old. And I just don't want to play with Pittsburgh. I mean, that could be it for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he met with him, but to me, like he's in a position to where he has all the leverage now, in my opinion. And I don't think he's going to retire. I think, he wants to get money. He wants to get paid. He's going to get paid somewhere. He's just waiting. And it's a big story. He's in media now. He gets money selling stories, selling his name, and it's almost like that's what the Steelers are doing. They love selling stories. They love selling bullshit to the media, and it's getting pretty sad at this point, man. And that's what a lot of the fans are saying to me on my page right now. Honestly, the fact that they hope this gets Tomlin fired. They want to see the Steelers lose and Tomlin gets fired. And if this is any indictment on Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan, this is a major indictment on Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan, especially if they roll out there week 1 as the plan, as Mason Rudolph being your starter. I'm sorry. It's just bad optics. Even if Mason is better than Aaron Rodgers, that's the only way. If Mason goes out there and saves the day, like he saved the season a year ago, it's the only way. And Tomlin looks like a genius, but it's not no genius move. That's the sad part about it is if we roll out there with Mason this year and it works, Tomlin and Omar Khan are going to look like a genius. But damn well they've been sitting on their hands all offseason. We have $40 million in cap space. If you're that comfortable going forward with Mason Rudolph, Why don't you go out there and sign a Nick Chubb already? Why didn't you go out there and sign a Stephon Diggs for $3 million? That's $13 million. Give 10 to Nick Chubb. Give 3 to Stephon Diggs. That's $13 million. We still got what? 27 million dollars in cap space that we can go out there and get some money. Hey, that's Russell Wilson right there, 20 million. And then they got 7 million left to fill out the rest of the roster. Why didn't you do that? So obviously they're all in on Rodgers, and they're doing everything in their power to basically schmooze Rodgers over here. And one of my favorite quotes Mike Tomlin said a long time ago, especially during the holdout situation with Le'Veon Bell, is he said, "We want volunteers and not hostages." But the way this negotiation's going down with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers right now, it seems to me that Aaron Rodgers is completely and totally holding this organization hostage right now, and they have no other option. They got no other option. They have to allocate all that money to Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers, they're probably going to have to move on whatever deal they're offering Rodgers right now if they don't have a deal done. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of reading in this conspiracy theory that Andrew Filipponi has. Like I said, I don't take too much stock into it, but he is conjoined at the hip with Pat McAfee. He does the Pat McAfee show regularly. And what a better place and what a better time for Aaron Rodgers to announce that he's coming and signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers at Pat McAfee's sold-out hometown show in PP Paints Arena, April 9th. So that could be the thing, too. I don't want to give Filipponi credit, but that honestly could be it. And that's what it is. The Steelers are selling stories, and that's what they want to sell you, a bunch of stories in fool's gold. That's somebody, I don't know who wrote the article today, but that was the title of it. The Steelers are now selling you fool's gold instead of, actually competing for championships nowadays. And sadly, that seems to be the case. Obviously, they don't care. We won't be waiting like tards on an old, washed-up, injury-prone, interception-throwing 5-win loser. I mean, hey, we could go out there and sign a lot more talent. If we really didn't want Rodgers here and we were comfortable with Mason Rudolph, which they're not, they would have went out there and signed a lot more talent around him. And they have so much money. That's almost like literally like 20% of the salary cap, $40 million. So what are we doing here? What are they doing other than sitting on their hands waiting for Aaron Rodgers to give the nod and say, "Okay, Pittsburgh, I'm coming here to play. I'm coming here to stay." That's what they want. That's obviously what they're doing. Or they'd be out there making moves and they'd out there be signing names and they wouldn't be waiting on Rodgers. But that's obviously what the Steelers are doing. They would have put out an offer to Russell Wilson. They would have put out an offer to Justin Fields instead of letting him walk. You couldn't give Russell Wilson $25 million. To me, that's cheap for a Russell Wilson, $25 million. And he wanted to play here. So he might have been willing to play for the Steelers for $20 million. And then you still could have got a Nick Chubb. And then you still would have had $10 million left, $12 million left to sign some more free agents. But no, now I don't know what's going to happen with the Steelers, honestly. And even if they do bring Rodgers in here, is he really going to put the Steelers over the hump? Is he really? Maybe. I mean, you got two good number one wide receivers in DK and Pickens, and we don't really got a running back. I see the Steelers drafting a running back. Especially if they bring Rodgers in for $25, $30 million. They ain't going to be able to sign no other free agents. The rest will just be $10 million to fill out the rest of the roster and sign the draft picks. So, if Kenny goes out there and has a better season with the Browns than the Steelers, if Justin Fields goes out there and has a better season with the Jets than the Steelers and has more wins, if Russell Wilson goes out there with the bunk-ass Giants and has a better season than the Steelers, there isn't a bigger indictment on Mike Tomlin than there is this offseason. This offseason has been terrible. It's been a quarterback turnover every single year. There's a new starting quarterback in Pittsburgh, and it's getting to the point where it's ridiculous. The most important position on your roster, you seem to not get it right. You reached on Kenny Pickett. Now you're coming back after you passed over on Mason Rudolph when you should have gave him the reins 4 years ago and tried to bridge a gap then instead of now. So Tomlin just wants to keep this streak alive. He wants to keep this streak alive, non-losing seasons, and they're going to bring Rodgers here. I do believe a deal is going to get done if it's not already done. And, that's going to keep the streak alive. And I don't think the Steelers are going anywhere. And the Roonies, there was an article that came out today. I was going to do 2 videos, but fuck it. I just did a live. So I'm going to just cover this all in a live. I should have did this video format, but fuck it. There was an article that said, is Mike Tomlin unfireable? Mike Tomlin's unfireable. I guess I don't know who it was, some Steelers guy, some former person with the Pittsburgh Steelers organization basically said Mike Tomlin's unfireable. And to me, at this point, he basically is unfireable. You don't fire Mike Tomlin, and the Steelers organization is not going to fire Mike Tomlin. If the Steelers get to 11 wins this year, it's like I'm saying, like I've been saying with this Rodgers shit and now with this Tomlin shit, the Steelers and the front office is more worried about selling stories than they are about actually competing for a championship. Because the story with Tomlin is if he wins 11 games this year, he's going to pass Chuck Noll in all-time wins. So, the Roonies got criticized from the jump street for signing Mike Tomlin, how he never should have been signed. He never had the resume to be a head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He never was going to win a Super Bowl. He was never going to have a winning record. He was a terrible hire that was never going to be successful in this league. And, there's a lot of the people that don't like Mike Tomlin and hate Mike Tomlin and believe he should be fired, especially all the way back then. I think those are the same people then still hate him now that said he never should have been fired. I mean, the guy's had a very successful career, and the Steelers are going to hold on to that. And are they going to fire a coach that brought them a Super Bowl, brought them to 2, and is going, if it's not this season, it's going to be next season. He has to get 11 wins in the next 2 seasons, and he's on contract for this season and next season. So is Mike Tomlin unfireable? In my opinion, yeah, he's unfireable. The Steelers are never going to fire Mike Tomlin. Could they choose not to extend him after, well, not this year, but the next year? Can they choose not to extend him? Yeah, and that might be the case. But will the Steelers ever fire Mike Tomlin? No, it's not going to happen. He's not going to get fired. The guy has too great of a resume. The Steelers don't do that to coaches. Matt Canada was the first coordinator they fired since like the 70s, bro. And if anybody deserved to get their ass fired, it's him. If anybody deserved to get their ass fired, it's Randy Fichtner. So you think they're going to go out there and fire Tomlin? It ain't happening. And, they go out there and get Rodgers this year and they tank and they have a terrible season and miss the playoffs. He probably deserves to be fired, but they're not going to. They're going to let this contract run out and they're going to go from there. The Steelers want that. They want that. They want to sell that story. That's going to validate the hiring. That's going to validate the Rooney Rule. That's going to validate everything they stand for when Mike Tomlin surpasses Chuck Noll in all-time wins. So to think he's going to get fired, you're smoking as much crack as Tomlin is on the sidelines when he's going for it on 4th and 1 and giving games to the Cincinnati Bengals when we should have won the goddamn division and giving games to the goddamn Cleveland Browns. That's as much crack as you're smoking. Smoking just as much as him if you think he's getting fired, because it ain't happening, bro. It ain't. And you know what? Maybe it should by now. It's been how long? And then you let these debacles go on every single offseason. It's a fucking circus show with the Pittsburgh Steelers every single fucking offseason. Since like all the way back to like 2017. What are we in, 2005 now? Who's that on? Coaching. That's on Tomlin. You let the animals run the zoo, and this is what you get. You got a team down on their knees begging and waiting for Rodgers to basically come in here and say, okay, I'm willing to play for Pittsburgh. It used to be, I'm going to play for Pittsburgh. I want to play for Pittsburgh, and everybody wanted to play for Pittsburgh. Now, the great Pittsburgh Steelers organization is on their knees for some washed-up diva. Some washed-up diva that wants $35, $40 million a year. That ain't worth it. Give me Najee Harris for $8 million right now, please. Give me that 4,000 yards a year of production back right now for $8 million, please. It never fumbles. It never gets hurt. Running backs ain't worth it, though. Yeah, that running back that ain't worth it's about to fucking light it up and have a Pro Bowl prime year with the Chargers. Tell me he ain't worth it. You know who ain't worth it? Is that overpaid, overwashed, overpriced diva, Aaron Rodgers. We're going to shell out all our salary cap that's left, sit on our knees and wait, and give it to this guy who's only going to be here for a year that doesn't really give a shit about Pittsburgh. He only cares about himself. And it's obvious he only cares about himself, especially when he fucking fudged his fucking COVID shit to the NFL. He didn't care about nobody but himself. He didn't care. He don't care about the older people. He don't care who he gets sick. He doesn't care if he's going to ruin the whole league and get every team sick and spread COVID around the league and get the whole league shut down and have to reschedule the whole entire league because he doesn't want to report correct and come correct to the league about his COVID vaccination. Get the hell out of here, bro. You should be banned from the league for that. Get the hell out of here. You're putting the whole entire league at risk. Why? Because you have an agenda? You're better than everybody else. You're bigger than everybody else. Obviously, he's bigger than the Steelers organization right now. And to me, that's what the problem is. You got a bunch of players within this organization who think they're bigger than the organization. And there ain't one man that's bigger than the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. And there ain't one man that makes a goddamn team. And there ain't one man that makes a goddamn roster. But here we are as the Pittsburgh Steelers on our fucking knees, bro. On our knees. Waiting and selling stories, giving ESPN stories. When, like I said, probably at the end of the day, they already got a deal done behind closed doors and they're just waiting and they're just selling stories and they're laughing. And that's all it is. And they're cheering and they're boozing it up and they're getting rich off all these stories. Steelers are going to win 10 games next year and get embarrassed in the playoffs. And then Tom's going to hang on to that. And we're going to be in the same boat next year. It's going to be the same shit next year. Who's the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Who's the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers? But that is what it is. Aaron Rodgers is going to come here. I figured I'd get a rant up here, quick live rant. But it is what it is. I've bitched at people for saying fire him. He pisses me off now, but I never want him fired. I'm about to lose all respect for him. This is bullshit. I mean, we're all in on Rodgers, man. And that comes down to talent evaluation. How could you evaluate Mason Rudolph and say he's not our guy? We're going to go with Mitchell throws a fucking interception every time, Babitsky. We're going to go with Kenny Pickett, scared to throw the ball down the field, sitting duck in the pocket, can't stand in the pocket, can't look through one read Pickett, but you're going to pass him over for Mason Rudolph. So, I mean, there's a lot of mismanagement of resources that's been going on here within the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. A lot of letting players run amok and do whatever the hell they want. A lot of just clownish tomfoolery within this Pittsburgh Steelers organization. Halfway through the season, past like 2-3 years in a row, they're in Cincinnati. Like this year, they beat Cincinnati when they were basically down and out and had no chance to even get back in it unless they won every single game in a row and had a ton of help from a ton of different teams. We're up there in Cincinnati. Walking your trap, take over your trap. Walking your trap, take over your trap. What, up like 2 games on the division, and then go and blow, I don't know how many games in a row, let the Ravens take the division out from under you, and then you walk up in Baltimore. You didn't walk in that trap too good and take over that trap, did you? When it mattered the most, the game that actually meant something. The game that actually meant something, those games that you haven't won in going on 9 years. That's what I want to see, you dancing like you won something when you actually win something. Not halfway through the goddamn season, dancing like they just won a goddamn Super Bowl or something, bro. That's some jig-ass, fucking Bush League-ass bullshit that Tomlin lets go on every single fucking year, bro. That's straight Bush League bullshit. Bush League bullshit. Dancing on Instagram. Walking your trap, take over your trap. Walking your trap, take over your trap. Well, guess what? The Ravens pushed your shit right in and ran it right down your fucking throat. How about that, Pittsburgh? How about that, Tomlin? What's up with that? Nah, That's not the Pittsburgh Steelers way. And some heads need to start fucking rolling in this fucking organization. And something needs to fucking change. There needs to be some fucking urgency. There needs to be, we're at a higher standard than halfway through the season, acting like we won something when we haven't won shit. Not shit. That's what the Steelers need, is a goddamn leader in the locker room to say, look at yourself in the fucking mirrors, clowns. We haven't won shit. We won. What's the organization that has the most Super Bowls in history, and we're celebrating a meaningless division game with the worst team, bottom of the barrel team in the division? That's just a stepping stone. That's like, okay, taking care of business, on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one, and on to the next one. And then when you get in the playoffs, then you can throw a fucking champagne and a fucking parade. Until then, shut the fuck up, put your head down, and bring back Smash Mouth football. That's what the Ravens did. Shut the fuck up, put their heads down, and ran it right up the middle and brought Smash Mouth football right all over us in the playoffs. And yet another one and done. Yet another first half, not even a first game, first half early exit for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs. And this is why so many fans are fed up. Because this goddamn circus show bullshit that keeps happening under Mike Tomlin. Something's got to give. And you're all in on Rodgers. You better get that fucking deal done. You better bring him in the fucking room. You better bring him into the organization. And you better get it done in the playoffs this year, or some heads really need to start rolling. But like I said, there's going to be no changes going to be made. It's going to be the same old, same old. And we're going to be here in the same position as we were last year. So it is what it is. Even if we do win a playoff game, it ain't like we're going to get Rodgers for more than 1 year. So I don't know where this organization's going and what the fuck they're going to do. But it is what it is, man. It is what the fuck it is. You want to come up here and say what you got to say what the fuck you got to say. I'll send it to you in text message because I don't want a retard coming up here pouring bombing me. Shit. I'm getting tired of Tomlin. I'm getting tired of this shit with this fucking team. If not, I'm going to end it. There you are.
You never hit me up, dude. I don't know, man. Why? What are you talking now?
I'm talking Aaron Rodgers. I'm tired of Tomlin. I'm tired of the tomfoolery. I'm tired of middle of the season, walking your trap, take over your trap. Goddamn monkey ass shit that keeps going on with this fucking team that fucking happens year after year after year after year. I'm getting tired of it, bro. And I'm not going to defend his ass no more, because something's got to change and something's got to give. And what's got to give is starts all the way at the motherfucking top. And this bullshit and this tomfoolery going on in this offseason starts all the way at the motherfucking top. Having this great organization kowtow and get on their knees for some washed up fucking diva that ain't going to come in here and play fucking savior to this franchise. He's just not. So I don't know what the fuck the hell we're sitting around waiting around when we could have got Stephon Diggs for $3 million. We could have got Nick Chubb for like $8 million, and we could have went out there and probably got more offensive line help, defensive line help, something to actually help this team compete instead of sitting around waiting and hoping and praying that this guy's going to come in and save the day. So now it's your turn. What do you got to say?
He's not going to say. He's not going to save the day. But dude, let's be honest, dude. Look at the stats. The pro football facts say the Giants were projected to win 3 wins before they got Russell Wilson. Guess what they're projected to win? 3 games. So that doesn't bother me. I think we messed up on Fields. I really think that we could be able to sign him. I don't like the money involved in that situation because that's 2 years, 40 million. But the thing is, now you got to think about it this way. So basically, right now, we're looking at a 5th-round compensatory pick from Wilson, 4th-round compensatory pick from Fields. And we're getting a bunch of compensatory picks from all the other players. Now, on top of that, if they end up, say Fields exceeds expectations and does the contract
That's what they
says,
said with Russell. If he see it could turn into a
we
third.
can
Russell's
we
can
can
go from a
we'll
fifth to
both
a
yeah
third.
they'll both turn into 3rd-round picks. I'm not worried about that. Listen, it's Rodgers or nothing at this point. It's simple facts, and if we really screw that up, it doesn't make sense to me. Then I'm going to be pissed, honestly, like you are screaming this stuff. I'd be pissed just like you. But if that's the case, then you bring in Flacco, and you know what? You got to do what you got to do. You still got to try to win. I feel like Rodgers is a bitch, honestly. I feel like Rodgers is still trying to fill out from Minnesota. I feel like Rodgers is trying to hear everything, every side of the story. I feel like Rodgers is trying to milk money. I feel like Rodgers isn't a team player. I feel like Rodgers is a me player. I feel like Rodgers is better than Wilson, though. I'm going to tell you that right now. Rodgers is better than Wilson. Facts.
I can
Facts,
agree with
facts,
that. I
facts.
agree with that. I agree he's better than Russell
But we
Wilson.
need to get a running back. We need offensive linemen and D tackles. So if we're gonna keep playing the game, like I said, Monday was my cutoff. Monday was my cutoff of Rodgers. We're already in baseball starts tomorrow. Like if he doesn't sign by this Monday coming up, then you know what? Flacco.
They need to start making
Flacco.
moves. They need to bring in some more
Flacco.
talent. They got $40 million to spend, and
Yes.
we just got demolished in the playoffs. Do they really want to compete for a championship, or do they really want to compete for a Super Bowl? Well, it's time to start getting aggressive in free agency and add some talent to this roster to go back into this division with a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, who all got paid, Lamar Jackson, who got paid, and Derrick Henry. And now they have DeAndre Hopkins. So, if anything, I say the other teams in this division are getting a lot better, and we're still sitting here on our hands, losing a lot of talent and not adding a lot of talent, in my opinion.
I mean, listen, we got to remember we got Metcalf. But right now, you're right. We don't have a quarterback to throw him the ball. And honestly, we don't have a ball carrier, a bell cow running back. We lost him, which you've been pounding the horn about, Najee. I agree with you. So I said, sign it. Why can't we go out and sign Gus Edwards for $4 million? Then, if J.K. Dobbins and Chubb is too much, that doesn't make sense to me. Why can't we go and get a backup center? Why are we playing dumb? It doesn't make sense to me. But we're
Why can't
playing
you
the
get a
game with
Stephon
Rodgers.
Diggs for? Why can't you get a Stephon Diggs for a $30 million? Shit, why not? I mean, yeah, you got Calvin Austin in the slot. Yeah, we got Roman Wilson, but do injuries not happen? And for a talent like that, for $3 million, hey, then you got fucking DK.
I agree.
You got Pickens. You got Diggs. Then you got Austin. Then you got Roman Wilson. Then you have one of the most deepest wide receiving rooms in the whole entire league. And you bring in a Gus Edwards or a J.K. Dobbins and a Nick Chubb. And then you got a deep-ass running room, too. And, there you go. But now we're sitting around waiting for the play caller.
Let me ask you a serious quarterback question. If we're that serious about a quarterback, if we're not sitting back and waiting for Rodgers, then why wouldn't we trade Pickens and try to move up in the draft?
Exactly. That's what we're doing. It's plain as day. That's what we're doing. $40 million, and who'd we bring in? Well, DK was a trade, so it's not like we're out there in free agency.
Well, no, we signed him. We have him for a while.
We signed him, yes, but we traded for him. In terms of free agency, we lost James Daniels, Justin Fields, Landon Roberts, Najee Harris, Dante Jackson. I mean, and then we go and get Darius Slay, who's old as fuck. And we let Najee walk. We could have optioned him for $8 million. We bring in Gainwell, no legitimate running back, no legitimate quarterback. So what are we doing? We're waiting on Rodgers. We have $40 million, and that's allocated to just to give to Rodgers, and then whatever's left is going to fill out the roster with draft picks and just shitty ass players just to fill out the whatever minimum salaries.
It's painful. It's painful, but I know that we're gonna get Rodgers. It literally, if we don't get Rodgers, then I'm gonna be I can't even explain to you how disappointed I'm gonna be. But like I said, I didn't want Russell back. Did you want Russell back? Nobody wants Russell back, to be honest. Um,
I don't want Mason Rudolph rolling out there game day one as the starter. I don't see how any way Tomlin or the front office can do that. I'm sorry, I just don't. Especially while you're sitting on $40 million in cap space. Shit, for $20 million, bring him back and then sign Chubb and sign Stephon Diggs. You could do that. For $20 million, you could have got Chubb for $8 million and then Stephon Diggs, and you still have about like $8-9 million left to fill out the rest of the roster.
so you think that he's gonna sign with the Vikings or us? There's no
And
other
he's gonna sign with
option.
us.
I just don't want to know how much money it's gonna be. It's gonna be way more than Russell.
And now that Russell's leg dropped, now it seems like he has all the leverage because we have no other option out there. Now he has all the leverage to this team that has $40 million in cap space. And he's like, well, Pittsburgh, I want this much, take it or leave it. And Pittsburgh can say, well, we're only going to give you this much, take it or leave it. And Rodgers says, well, I'll leave it. I'll sit and wait for someone to get hurt, and then somebody will sign me, and I'll go to a better situation.
I know. That's why I'm saying I can't stand this. It's like playing a poker tournament right now. Like, it's stupid. It's like playing Mosh's Hold'em, where you pause the fucking game for a half hour.
That's what they say now, but they might just be saying that, well, we don't want you at this price. Get the hell out of here. Now come back. Now he might come back and say, well, okay, I didn't like what Pittsburgh was offering.
I didn't like it. So thank you. Yeah, he came here and got his price, and he's like, well, nope, I didn't like what Pittsburgh offered me. Let me go back to the Vikings.
Yeah, he has all the leverage right now, and we have none now. Zero. We have no other fallback option. Who's our Flacco? Andy Dalton. Like, who's our fallback option now at this point? There ain't really none.
Andy Dalton signed with the Panthers. We can't even get him.
There you go. We don't even have Andy Dalton to fall back onto.
We can't even get Jameis Winston.
And then Trey Lance signed too with the 49ers. So who's the fault? We're done. We're cooked. We're all in on Rodgers. It's all in. We're all in on the poker table right now for Aaron Rodgers. Now is Aaron Rodgers gonna?
I almost want to punch something really, really bad, bro, because you're pissing me off. Because if you think about this, Jameis Winston was out there. We didn't pick him up. We picked up Mason Rudolph, and then the Giants picked up both Winston and Russell Wilson. What do we get? What do we have? Skylar Thompson
and Skylar Thompson, two career backups, two guys that's never started a full season in their career.
Yep. There you go. So that's what we got, folks. And that's
a guy that the front office and this coaching staff passed over time and time again because they didn't feel he was good enough to be a starting quarterback. Now they're trying to come out here with a straight face and tell us that they're comfortable with starting him as no. That's why we haven't made any moves in free agency. They're all in on Rodgers. They can say what they want. It's obvious that's what they're doing. They're sitting around on their hands waiting for him to go, to sign with us.
That makes me so mad. But at least the Steelers are doing something.
Have you heard anything that we offered anything to Nick Chubb or Gus Edwards?
No.
I haven't heard anything like that. Were we even trying to schmooze Stephon Diggs to come here for $3-4 million? No. They said we didn't even make an offer to Russell Wilson. So,
but at least the fucking Steelers tried. What did the Pirates do? Okay? Remember that. The $40 million, the Pirates, you think the Pirates are going to put $40 million into anything?
Fuck no. That's about all they spend every year is $40 million, $50 million, $60 million.
Yeah. Garbage can. It's so sad, bro. But at least I give the Steelers credit that if that's what they're doing, I agree with you that we're all in on Rodgers. There's no way we're not. Because if not, then we would be trying our best.
$40 million, that's a lot of talent that you can sign to a goddamn roster outside of the quarterback position, man. Let's just keep it 100, dude. You get Nick Chubb. They said he's projected to get like $8 million. So there's $8 million right there. Stephon Diggs, $3 million. So what's that, 8, 9, 10, 11? minus what 40. So we got $29 million left. We could have signed Russ. We got Stephon Diggs and Nick Chubb and
You know
Russ, and
you
still
know
have
what the
money left
Pirates
over.
spent in the offseason? They spent like $10 million.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So imagine that. Imagine that, man. Now, this is a full-blown sports fucking channel, so we're gonna shoot to the Pirates. I want to hear everybody's fucking opinion about what the Pirates record is going to be this year. I'm gonna say 82-80. Been thinking about it. Paul Skeens is an OG, and I'm gonna sit there every day when he pitches, and I'm gonna be fucking screaming my head off because we got the best fucking talent in sports. That's one thing you guys don't realize, all you yinzers. You don't realize the talent that we have until it's fucking gone. Then you'll be like, "Nya, nya, 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 nya." You know what I'm saying? This team might suck, but I'm telling you what right
I
now.
think everybody knows he's going to be gone. Everybody knows he's going to be gone. That's the sad thing with the Pirates. You know he's going to be gone. At least with the Steelers, we're like, all right, Rodgers is probably going to sign here.
Let's
We
go.
believe that he's going to sign here. But as a Pirates fan, there ain't no Pirates fan that thinks that we're going to keep Paul Skeens. But Bob Nutting's going to embezzle it away. He's going to sell it for a bunch of Dominican, 15-year-old Dominicans in fucking cash considerations, bro. That's what he's going to do. He's going to be like, bring me some child labor and give me some cash, and you can have this future Hall of Fame pitcher, to where his rookie card is already worth like $1 million fucking dollars, bro.
It
That's
is.
how
It's over $1 million. It's worth more. It's worth more. Do you understand the Pirates offering him like season tickets, the kid who got it and everything, and all this money? Like you can play a softball game with the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know what that kid did? Smartest kid in the world, bro. 12-year-old. Sold it. Put it on auction. Put it in auction. Smart ass kid. Smart. I would have kept it. I wouldn't even, that's just me because I'm Pittsburgh. He probably wasn't from Pittsburgh. He's from California, so he probably isn't a Pirate fan. Smart ass kid, man. Good job, kid. That's what good job. Bob Nutting, come on down. We'll bring you to season tickets. Sit behind home plate.
Yeah, come. Yeah, we'll give you season tickets for that $1 million card. Yeah, right, bro. You couldn't give me it. Get the hell out of here, you cheap bastard. He's trying to rip this kid off and shit.
Exactly.
Just like rip off them 15-year-old Dominicans that he fucking has that he's going to trade for goddamn Paul Skeens for. That's what he's gonna do, that fucking piece of garbage, man. That's crazy, bro. The MLB's still in the practice of slave labor, too. That's crazy. Baseball, dude, it's crazy. And the Pirates are a joke. They're a major league farm system, and they're an absolute joke. At least the Pittsburgh are like try to stay competitive and try to stay relevant with selling stories and bringing names in here. Pirates can't do a goddamn thing. They
All
trade
right.
away their pitchers. They don't go out there and steal Paul Goldschmidt. They need a first baseman desperately. But hey, here's what they'll do. They'll trade a pitcher for a hurt first baseman who they knew was hurt. They knew he was hurt too, which is the crazy thing.
I know that.
Trade. That's crazy, dude. What more do you need to know? Why isn't Ben Sherrington getting fired? Why not? Why?
I want to ask you a question.
Bob Nutting puppet. Same with Derek Shelton. It doesn't matter if you bring in Tony Francona. It doesn't matter if you bring in Jim Leland. It doesn't matter if you bring in Jim Torrey. It doesn't matter if you bring in Tony La. They're the puppets of Bob Nutting. So no matter how good of a manager you are, they're being handcuffed by the front office, a.k.a. Bob Embezzlement Nutting.
A.k.a. Mike Tomlin on Justin Fields.
Well, yeah, that too. On offense, for sure, they handcuffed both. Probably Russell and him was handcuffed.
So we're all getting to somewhere here. But no, once a week, we need to do a Pirate podcast. We need to review the week. And we need to talk the truth about these Pirates, bro. Because it's time for Bob Nutting's not going to get out of here. The manager needs fired, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh, for sure, he needs fired.
I don't care who we hire. I don't even care at this point. Hire anybody. As long as we get rid of his ass. That's how I feel. Definitely the GM, dude. Are you serious?
He's terrible. He's garbage. He's hot garbage. He's garbage on top of garbage.
You're not going to fire the owner. The owner's going to have to
fire the owner. I wish you could, but you can't.
No, he's going to have to sell the team or retire. He's going to have to sell the team.
You think he's going to sell the team? He ain't going to sell the
Fuck
team. He's
no,
getting
man.
too rich.
He's going to give it to his kids.
No,
And then we're going to be fucked.
I know.
He's just going to be down the line, bro. It's going to be like the Roonies, bro. We have a fucking. The thing is with the Pirates, though, is like they ain't like the Roonies. Okay? They're trash. Garbage. Pathetic. They don't care about winning. They don't care about. Dude, they don't. It's so sickening. My favorite day of the year is tomorrow, man. Opening day of baseball. I mean, I love when NFL kicks off. Like that day is great. Super Bowl is pretty good if your team's in it. But there ain't nothing like the crack of the bat, the first game of the year, and then you just know your team sucks. And you have a pitcher that's going to strike out like 11 people tomorrow, and then
that's what's going to happen. Paul Skeens going to strike out like 9 or 10 batters, and they're going to lose like 1-0. They'll lose 1-0. Paul Skeens will have a fucking stellar day, and the offense will just come up completely short because it's pathetic, that lineup they're trotting out there. It's pathetic.
And it's not fair. It's not fair. What are we doing? What do we do? We're never going to have a pitcher like this in my lifetime, man. Your lifetime. We're not going to have one again. Dude, you can't find it. How can you find
a generational talent? Like they say, you're going to get a generational talent, a franchise quarterback every year. It's not realistic. But the Pirates realistically have a generational talent that they can build upon and build around. And they're doing absolutely nothing to build upon and build around that generational talent. So they're letting it go to waste. The first 4 years of his career is an absolute waste. It's just a debut before he becomes a Yankee or a Dodger, bro. That's all it is, man.
And then before that, we had Henry Davis, 1-1. We had Nick Gonzalez drafted 6th overall, 1-6. And where's the talent, man? We just that stupid at drafting, or is that what it is? We just don't know what we're doing.
At least the Gonzalez is starting and Skeens is starting. Davis, they basically given up on him and said he's a bust, so that was just a waste. And you can't bring no talent around him neither. You got to bring some talent around him. You don't have a first baseman, so shit, I don't see there's no reason why you can't have him out there starting first base every day. Have an old-ass Andrew McCutcheon out there. That's just pointless having him DH. That's just pointless.
It's so dumb. It's 38 years old, man. He's 38. He's 4 years older than us.
Yeah, he's time, but he shouldn't be on the roster. Period.
That doesn't even make sense. It's same thing with Casey Hayward, my buddy. He shouldn't be on the roster, you know? So I call him Casey Hayward, the bum boy. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm going to be so mad. The Pirates better take 3 out of 4 from the Marlins, or you're going to hear me snap the fuck out. Because it's just nonsense. We need to be winning. The standards are the standards. Well, the standards need to be the standards here in fucking Pittsburgh Pirate Land. I'm telling you that right now. There ain't no standards. Derek Shelton comes up and pats you on the butt cheek and says, well, Jared Jones, you're down for 8 weeks. Well, Paul Skeens, you pitched a hell of a game, 19 strikeouts. You're down 1-0. We'll take you out. 85 pitches. Fuck it. That's what we do over here.
They're like, we gotta save him. We gotta save him. Save him for what? The Yankees? Like, what the hell? We're only gonna have him for 4 years, and then he's gone after that. What are you saving him for? Save his arm for what? For what? You might as well use it up. You might as well use it up as best you can then get rid of him.
You know what you know what I wish I could do? I wish I could go up and interview him real quick, like be like, hey, you want to come out the game? He'd be like, fuck you. No. Well, do you think he wants to come out the game?
Hell no. You're working on a no pitcher. I'm going to take you out right now. Oh, thanks, coach. Thanks a lot, coach. Yeah.
Pat him on the butt.
You're the only one keeping this organization and team afloat right now. And this can get you heavily paid if you throw a bunch of no-hitters. I'm going to keep you down, and I'm going to take you out right now. Thank you very much. Thanks, coach.
He probably whispers in his ear. He whispers in his ear and goes, we're paying too much to Mitch Keller right now. We got We can't do that right now. We're paying Mitch Keller should be our ace right now. We can't pay you all this. You know what, dude? I can't wait till Paul Skeens leaves.
You
Actually, you
can't
know
keep
why?
having good games, and then we'll get too much of a return on you. If we do decide to trade you, we'll get too much of a return on you, and then we might actually win. And Bob Nutting doesn't want that. For some reason, he doesn't want that. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
No, he doesn't. That's why we got fucking Adam Frazier and fucking McCutcheon starting probably opening day tomorrow. Dude, my
That's
head's gonna
pathetic.
explode. I'm gonna lose my mind, dude. I'm going to lose my mind. McCutcheon is gonna be batting fourth. I'm going to lose it.
That's sad.
McCutcheon is gonna be batting fourth, at least fourth or fifth. Bro, tell me how that makes any sense. I'm gonna lose it, dude. And Kid Brian Hayes with his chronic 23-year-old back injuries. Bro, this team is we wasted so much money on him. Paid Mitch Keller. Brian Reynolds is the only good contract that we gave out. Thankfully, we're smart enough to at least give him some money. Thankfully, because
Brian
you know
Hayes
what?
is locked
He
down
don't
for
even want to be
years.
here. I bet you ask Brian Reynolds, you want to be here? He's going to say, fuck no.
He said it when they were negotiating his deal. He didn't want to be here. He tried, and then they schmoozed him. They finally somehow they got a deal done. He almost didn't want to come here. He didn't want to come here, honestly.
He's not dumb. He knows what the
But they
fuck's
gave him
going
all
on.
kinds of like luxury hotels and shit in his contract, and he gets all kind of like different shit in his
Well,
contract.
they better, man. What the fuck? What are you gonna do? Who else are you gonna bring on the team?
I don't know. Nobody.
Could you imagine if we lost Brian Reynolds?
They'd be terrible. That's the only good hitter in the lineup, man. O'Neal Cruz is not that good. Yeah, he's got good exit velocity, whatever. It doesn't
He got
matter.
power. He's strong. He can steal bases, but no, he's not a consistent actual type of hitter. You know what a hitter is? A hitter is someone hitting runners in scoring position, someone that can hit a double, get on base. But the bad thing is when he gets on base, no one can bring him in.
Hit to the opposite field. I bet you Cruz can't really hit to the opposite field.
Nope,
Can he? I don't know, but
not really. Not like Reynolds. Reynolds is a switch hitter too, so he can hit from the right and the left.
Yeah, that's talent.
Like that's really good. You can hit from both sides. O'Neal Cruz is just a left-handed hitter. That's what makes him good because he's so big and strong. O'Neal Cruz is a monster.
But most of them are lefties. Aren't lefties bad against righties or lefties good against righties?
Lefties are bad against lefties. Lefties are good against righties. Righties are it's vice versa.
Okay.
So you don't want to be left on left. No, that's horrible. You don't normally lefties don't hit lefties good.
I'd say a majority of pitchers are righties, though, is what I'm saying. So him in the lineup every day is good. Actually.
You're right. About 80% are lefty or righties, or 75%. So that's why if you're a left-handed hitter, you're so talented. But you're a switch hitter, that's even better because you can just boom, boom, flip, flop. Like you never have to leave the lineup.
Yeah.
That's why I love Reynolds. Like O'Neal Cruz can't hit lefties. He's horrible. He sucks. Like if he can start learning how to hit lefties, then O'Neal Cruz will be a machine. He can crush righties. But that's the thing with him. Left on left, man, he's not good. He strikes out a lot.
He's just not good in general. I don't think he got a lot of power, but he's not that good on defense. They're switching him around on defense and shit. I don't know if he's that good,
coaching.
man.
That's coaching. That's coaching.
Yeah, that's not on him, but still, I mean,
you can't be switching him all over the place. You know? Like when they brought up Rod Woodson, for instance, he was a corner.
I think it's pretty much Rodgers or nothing, bro. It's Rodgers or nothing, bro. This is what it is. Rodgers or nothing. Rodgers or we're gonna bring in like an old ass Flacco. Like who else is really out there as the quarterback? Like there ain't none.
We already know it's gonna be Rodgers, 1,000,000%. I'm gonna guarantee it.
I guarantee it too. I think the deal's already done. I think Pony might be right, dude. That's where he's going to announce it. Is the Pat McAfee sold out show in PP Paints Arena?
I'm gonna snap. That's gonna piss me off. Time to smoke. Let's smoke some weed. Smoke time.
Mike Tomlin didn't believe in Mason Rudolph. Now all of a sudden he's like, "That's my guy. That's my guy. We got faith in him." But yeah, all right. That's what they're trying to fucking sell us right now. It's like Bob Nutting trying to sell this idiot over here that they're trying to compete for championships, but we know they're fucking not. They don't give a goddamn shit about championships. Competing for nothing. Yeah, because you think they're trying to compete for fucking championships and they're not.
I never said that. You're lying on me, bro.
All
What
right.
did I say?
You think the Pirates are going to be good? When do you think the Pirates are going to be good? You think O'Neal Cruz is going to be good? Do you think the Pirates have a good pitching rotation? You're lying to yourself. Paul Skeens is the only good one in the rotation. And Jared Jones being out 6 to 8 weeks, that just blows that whole rotation wide open to get fucking destroyed and dismantled all year long, bro. They're going to get fucked up. They're probably going to take a step back. They're going to take a step back, not a step forward.
The division is wide to the open, like Sin's pussy lips right now.
All right, well,
wide to the open.
That's pretty wide open then, bro. That's wide. That's blown out, bro. That's hanging down all over the place then, bro.
All right. The Cardinals suck.
So anybody can win that shit. Anybody can get in that shit, and anybody can win that shit, bro.
Exactly. The Cubs can get up in the Sins, the fucking, you know what I'm saying? The Brewers, the Cardinals, the Reds. Anybody can win this shit. It's blown open.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to teach you something, bro. What are you going to do when it's blown open? You got to fucking seal it shut.
There ain't no sealing that thing shut, bro. And there ain't no sealing it shut for the Pirates right now, bro. They got no chance in the world. Even this blown open, wide open division, they don't even. That's how bad they're like Nuzdar. They're just sitting down there in the corner, bro. Got no chance in hell, bro. All right, they're reserved to the corner, bro. That's where the Pirates will forever be, reserved to the motherfucking corner, bro. They can't even get in that blown open shit, bro. God damn it. It's over for him.
Dude, Nuzdar, man. I heard Sensen wants to sit on your face. Will you let her sit on your face, Nuzdar?
Sports channel, man. Enough of that shit. Enough. None of that talk here. And I'm done talking about her. It's over. It's done.
It's great to hear it. Shout to Shady.
She's coming around a little bit, but about it, man.
Yeah.
Now she's being a bitch.
No, I heard her.
Oh, fucker. You fucking shit, you. You little fucker, you.
I heard her meow.
Yes, clawed at my ass.
What'd you do?
Nothing. I said, hey, and it went, wow. And then it'll come sit by me, and then I'll start petting, and it'll be purring, and then all of a sudden it starts. It's bipolar, just like, what's her name? All right, I'm ending it.
Yeah. We're talking football.